Oui, en baissé lui-même, oui.
Discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1492. Its original population was virtually annihilated by the Spanish, repopulated by African slaves. First Black Independent Republic. Once wealthy and prosperous, but plagued by corruption, violence, poverty, and environmental degradation. Vulnerable to hurricanes and disease. Poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Highest infant and maternal mortality rate in the Western Hemisphere. 20,000 children living with HIV. More than half of its children don't go to school. Haiti. Duvalier, its former dictator, said, "It's the destiny of people in Haiti to suffer." The St. Boniface Foundation doesn't think so. Neither do its partners or benefactors, nor anyone who has ever visited Fond de Blanc. Like my sister and me. This is a glimpse of what we saw during our recent visit.
For me, what I love about this community is the unending hope of the Haitian people.
No one can deny the impact of St. Boniface Haiti Foundation in this community.
I think the key is that we understand that hope and we work with them to build up more hope.
I can say, from my own experience, that people here have been blessed. Really, I think that very sincerely, because St. Boniface has been doing such a great job.
They'll never remember, quote Sister Ellen, but they will remember that someone cared for them and that someone sat with them and that someone held their hand or joked with them when they needed to laugh. And I think that's really important.
The key really is that we work hand in hand with the community. It's not basic charity, although there is an element of that, and it's not strict empowerment, although there is a strong strain of that. But it's a combination of both, which I think really leads to a solidarity with the people here. And that long-term commitment to a group of people in one specific location. And I think that's really an important thing that St. Boniface does. The number one thing that we do is help people with health care. We help people stay alive. I mean, there's all kinds of things that people would have died of if St. Boniface wasn't here. There's no doubt about it.
Today is Friday, and we're in the waiting room of the hospital. And Fridays are a very busy day at the hospital as people come from long distances to the market, and then they come to the hospital. Some people have walked maybe 8 or 10 hours to get here, some even longer. So we see lots of children and adults, all kinds of various maladies and problems. We're seeing an awful lot of malaria here these days, and so some of these folks may be ill with malaria.
So the diagnosis that the pediatrician retained for the child was gastroenteritis, due probably to Shigella, with severe malnutrition.
The second thing is that we do nutrition programs for extremely malnourished kids, so trying to make sure that those who are most vulnerable get the food and the nutrients that they need. In terms of schooling, we have all kinds of scholarship programs as well as new schools being built. Because the major issue there is that we don't have an ability to get most kids in school. So that's one of the other projects that we do. I think that a lot of NGOs exist out there, and I think what makes St. Boniface a special organization is our ability to be so close to the population that we're trying to serve. The thing that always crosses my mind, I think it crosses a lot of people's mind when they go to a place like that. For instance, the little girl with the growth on her forehead. I mean, what kind of luck we have that we were born where we were born, and what do we owe a community like this, because they didn't choose to be born there, and they've tried to work extremely hard, harder than any of us have had to work in our lives probably, and they still aren't able to get out of that poverty. We're gonna go over to Gaspar, which is another area closer to the hospital that Brielle and the St. Boniface have been working on housing for. So there's a needy family that I think we're going to go see. This is an example of the most vulnerable families in Fontainebleau. Some of the most vulnerable families in Fontainebleau.
Parce que c'est toute une famille nette qui est dans la pauvreté, qui est la misère.
Because this whole family is really suffering from dire poverty. You know, when one person gets sick, everybody's tied in like this together. Everybody gets sick, and they're more vulnerable because the rain comes down as well.
Yeah.
So, it's wet inside. He said, for example, if tuberculosis starts moving through this compound, everybody will pick it up very quickly. He said his goal is to make them feel human again. And so, maybe we can figure out a way to change the situation and to have regular housing, just like any person should have. Nothing big, but something just basic that can cover their heads.
Changer situation ça travaille une leçon pour l'autre, pour mieux, puis ça travaille une belle bagaille tout pour bon Dieu, pour la société.
He says it's one by one. We won't be able to change everybody's lives in the whole community, but one by one, maybe we'll have an example before God as being able to at least have affected this area.
Our visits to Fontainebleau have been life-altering. Yes, we have seen a lot of suffering. 2 years ago, I held a boy as his mother died of AIDS. My sister and I have learned to recognize the telltale signs of malnutrition: orange hair and receding hairlines. During our recent trip, 2 babies we filmed died in the neonatal unit. A malaria patient who was in the hospital passed away as he was being transported to his home village. But we also saw so much hope. Young mothers learning to provide proper nutrition for their children. Kids in school, learning, singing, getting dental treatment. A family enjoying their newly built home. Locally run tilapia fish ponds farming enough fish to feed the village. A mountain hilltop about to start construction on a new school. A remote hospital providing care to thousands of isolated Haitians. A small fishing community using new boats to bring in a bountiful catch and entertaining us with songs. A young boy with a life-threatening tumor recovering after a surgery in Boston and receiving a newly constructed retainer that would let him chew his food. And partners like Haiti Projects providing needed jobs for mothers and incomes to send their kids to school. And their library welcoming eager young readers and computer users. For my sister and me, the remarkably empowering thing about going to Haiti is realizing that so little can do so much. Caring is free, and that means a lot. But material support can build upon that. $3 buys a bag of rice and beans for young children that can help prevent malnutrition. $100 sends a child to school for a year. That includes a uniform, books, and what for many is their only solid meal of the day. $2,500 can build a well like this one. In this small village, it's the only source of clean drinking water for miles around. $4,000 sends a student to medical school for a year. Students like the ones we met in Port-au-Prince who will come back as doctors or dentists to help the people of Fontainebleau. Tiny amounts of money do a lot as well. Less than the price of a cup of coffee buys fluoride treatment for a child. And just look at what one $10 soccer ball can do. So Duvalier isn't right. It's not the destiny of the people of Fontainebleau to suffer. And together, we can all play our part to help ensure that Haitians of Fond Blanc continue to help themselves. What can you do? Visit HaitiHealth.org to find out.